أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this Awqaf SA Livestream program. Are you looking for ideas for your Eid preparation? Are you looking for some ideas for gifts for your children and for your family? Are you lost? Are you completely stumped without any idea and so on? Then look no further. We've decided to put together this program with some presentations of products offered by service providers that's close to Awqaf South Africa. My name is Hasanain Abdullah. I'm the project coordinator for Awqaf South Africa, and welcome to this session. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. This session has been live streamed to YouTube as well as Facebook. We do have regular programs of the sort, and today we are going to be putting together a host of informative tips to assist you to get your Eid shopping sorted out for your family. As we bid farewell to the holy month of Ramadan, and we celebrate our achievements during this month of Ramadan, whether it has been the observing of fast, um, reciting the Quran, charity, Taraweeh, and the list goes on, as well as paying our zakah. We thought it would be an ideal opportunity to share some Eid gifting ideas, and in this way, it's very befitting in celebrating the joyous day of Eid. That means family units coming together, sharing a meal together, the community, your musallis as well. So Awqaf is a charitable endowment organization, and we have a host of downstream projects in whether it be in balls, cataracts, PC labs, and lots of our projects provide sustainable solutions for our community, and lots of our projects aims to be a means of community development. And this is why we are very happy to be presenting this program. So at Awqaf, we have a tradition of doing Eid gifting, and every year at the end of Ramadan, we have a tradition of sending out a link to the community out there, and they have a tradition of taking out Eid gifts for the children for as little as 100, 200 rand to reward some of the young children in the family that have been fasting for the first time. And something that we'd like to spend time with now, before we bring on some of our other guests, we've got 2 or 3 other guests on the line that will be joining us. We'll be sharing some information about the fasting certificate. So the fasting certificate is something that Awqaf has been sharing with our community since 2015. And what it is a celebration of some of our young children as young as 5 and 6 years old who have been fasting for the first time, and some of them for the first time who have fasted a few days. So Awqaf since 2015, we have been making this fasting certificate available. Parents would print out these certificates and have the names of the children and present that to them during the Eid ceremony. So we prepared this little insert, and this will show you how you can get access to the 2023 edition of the fasting certificate. We have automated things, so all that you need to do, and this video will explain to you that you need to access the Awqaf website, and let's bring that video insert and let's go through that steps. So that's the fasting certificate campaign logo. Head on to awqafsa.org.za. This is the Awqaf SA's website. On the landing page, there is a click-through banner over there. Click on that banner, and then this will take you to the fasting certificate page with all of the relevant information. And there is two options essentially. You can download the 30-day certificate if your child has completed the 30-day, as well as if they have fasted for a few days. So click on the link, and this will take you to the form. And on this form, this is where you as the parent will complete the details of your children, of your child's details. There we go. So you're going to enter in the email address that's required as this certificate will be emailed to you. You enter in the child's name. Please do adhere to the correct spelling. Enter the child's name. You put the parent's name in there. Contact number. And then once you submit, you'll have the success page. And essentially, ta-da, this is the certificate of your child. The name is inserted in there. So what you can do, you can print it out and you can present it. These are some children that have fasted for the first time. And this is like the presentation ceremony on Eid Day. So you can do the same for your children. There we go. All smiles. It's really a happy day, and especially for children that have fasted for the first time, this is indeed something very special. So that's the Awqaf SA fasting certificate. It is free. All that you have to do is log on to the Awqaf's website, awqafsa.org.za, in order to access that certificate. And if you have any queries, I will be sharing my contact number at the end of the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. Give us a like, and we will really appreciate some of your feedback and your comments. With that said, let's move on to our next guest, and we're going to be speaking to Aadila from Toybox. So Aadila from Toybox, she runs a business which focuses on selling gifts for children with the Islamic ethos. She's been running this business for the last 10 years, and she's definitely got some experience in this arena. So we'll bring Aadila on and find out from Aadila. Aadila, Assalamu alaikum. What's in the box today? Tell us more. What's cooking with Toybox for Eid 1444?
Wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum to all our viewers. Hope everybody is well, alhamdulillah. Okay. Okay, so you asking if you would like to know what we have on offer this Ramadan, inshallah, and
So
this
in
Eid.
yes, that's correct. So tell us a
Okay,
little
this
bit more.
Ramadan, okay. Alhamdulillah. Ramadan 1444 has been truly special for our young Muslims. We actually started by ushering in the month with our take on the little Ramadan box set. Um, if you could just, yeah. So each box was filled with a word mentioned in the Holy Quran, followed by an ayah or more relating to that word, which was then tied together with either dua, hadith, good deed prompts, activity, treat, trinkets, etc., to make the lesson more concrete. And alhamdulillah, both parents, kids, up to teenagers enjoyed it thoroughly. And I hope they really benefited a lot from it. And yeah, we look for, yeah, that's the next product. Okay. Our second most popular item with these fasting badges, they serve to teach our children to be mindful, confident, believing Muslims. It is always heartwarming to see our children filled with excitement and motivation to fulfill a pillar of Islam willingly. Our next popular item is the money tins and coin purses. That has always been a hit in encouraging kids to save money and encourage them to be more charitable towards others. It also helps with self restraint in goal setting. There's lovely sayings on them too. These are products from Crystal Boutique, based in Cape Town, which I do stock as well. The most loved book this Ramadan has been The Gift of Five Daily Prayers. In this book, we learn the origins of the five daily salah and about Miraj and which salah came through which Nabi. Yeah, so it was really, and in during Ramadan, everybody, even those who weren't usually performing the salah, they're trying to get into the habits. Alhamdulillah, this is a
So
good book
Adila, tell me, is this one of
to
your
get you
popular?
into it and
Is this one of your popular purchases?
yes, it has been, and especially for gifting others as well. I mean, anything related to Salah, you're only going to gain more reward for it, inshallah. It will be as a form of sadaqah jariyah for you and your family to come, inshallah. Okay. And then, yeah, to build bonds in our family and get the kids all excited and everybody involved. There's lots of fun craft kits that we have as well. A popular one this Eid has been the sand art kits. Yeah, it's a wonderful activity for the whole family to get involved in, and they can obviously then re-gift it to other members of family, friends, neighbors, etc. That brings joy to everyone, alhamdulillah.
So Adila, tell us, how does this sand art thing work? How do you do the sand art? Tell us.
Okay, so this particular kit that is in our visual right now. In the back, there are 4 cards and there are 6 tubes of sand. And yeah, so there's the tool to remove the adhesive part of the card. And you build up the card and you can decorate it to the colors of your choice. I mean, there's no bounds to one's creativity. Alhamdulillah. And then, like I said, it's something that you can always re-gift as well to others. So it's a gift that keeps giving. Okay, that's just another form of sand art. They come in a variety or in 6 different designs to choose from. It's gender neutral. You can't go wrong with them. Kids of all ages from 3 up thoroughly enjoy it. Adults too. It's quite therapeutic.
So tell me, Adila, for Eid Day, this would be like an activity for the children to keep themselves busy post Eid lunch or Eid supper when all of the family are
Absolutely.
together. Okay,
Absolutely.
fantastic.
It's a great activity to keep them busy with, yes. And then you could always then stick it up on the fridge or something afterwards, and yeah, it's a great one. Others do prefer monetary gifts. For that, we have beautifully handcrafted Eid Mubarak card holders. These are also handcrafted by a lovely lady in Cape Town as well, mashallah. Yeah, so a lot of hard work goes into these items as well, and thought and craft, alhamdulillah. What we're looking at now are the piñatas. Piñatas for Eid has become a novel staple in Toybox clients' homes. Oh, what fun! Here are some of the piñatas we've created over the years. The watermelon and key design were made as symbols of resistance to create awareness of ongoing occupation and injustice in Palestine. And with every piñata made, a donation is made to organizations doing relief work in those areas. This year, in fact, the clients haven't even yet seen these two yet, the Lego heads and the Roblox piñatas. This year, because Ramadan fell during the school holidays, felt it's befitting to smash those idols. And yeah, those were those kids' favorites. So that's the inspiration behind the Roblox and Lego heads this year.
Well, I like this. I like this gift. It's got lots of depth in meaning, and it's quite profound, I think. So
It's really become a tradition. Every year, in these families' homes. So the one particular family, their son, he won't go to bed the night before he smashes his piñata. And with the other family, with her, the whole family comes over, and yeah, it takes them like maybe half an hour or so, or to an hour, just depending on the age range of kids that are there at that time. And they have a good bashing at it, and it brings joy. Alhamdulillah, it brings joy.
Okay, so tell us more about Toybox and what are you going to be doing on E-Day, and tell me what specials, what new developments is happening on the Toybox frontier. Here at Awqaf, we've been following your developments on Instagram quite closely, so do fill us in.
This Eid, I'll be hosting both Eid lunch and supper for our families, inshallah. So we're gonna have a jam-packed day, full of activities for the kids as well.
So tell me, how
And
can people get hold of you?
well, there's a lot happening in the Toybox pipeline. Ma,
How can people get hold of you?
I must say. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. It's my handle is Toybox underscore Aadila. And otherwise, you could WhatsApp or DM. My WhatsApp number is 072-586-7610. I'm based in Johannesburg, and I do courier nationwide.
Oh, okay. And so that's within
Not
the,
allow for collection and in-house streaming.
okay, so that's within South Africa, eh?
Yes, only within South Africa at the moment, Shukran.
Okay, so make dua that you go beyond the borders of South Africa, beyond
Insha'Allah.
Mozambique and Botswana, to some of our people that is tuning into the session. Anyway,
Absolutely. Alhamdulillah, actually have had customers from Botswana, Zambia, Mozambique, Dubai as well. I just haven't shipped directly to them. Yeah, they made a plan.
okay. Thank you so much, Sister Aadila. We're wishing you
Shukran for having me.
for Eid, and inshallah we hope Allah increases you in barakah, and may you continue to serve the ummah with your children gifts with the Islamic ethos, inshallah.
Amin wa iyaakum. For you too and Awqaf, inshallah.
So there you have it. That was Aadila from Toybox. So you can follow them on Instagram. The link in the bio has all of the information. So we're really happy to be hosting this program, and it also aims to create awareness around some of the local e-tailers and local businesses that are stocking really some quality and very relevant Islamic gifts for our children to inculcate that Islamic values within them. So next up, I'm very excited because now we get to speak about books. I really love books. And we're going to be speaking to Sister Tazkiyah from Baitul Hikmah. And Baitul Hikmah is one of the premier online retail outlets. It stocks a variety of books. Some of Awqaf's books are available on Baitul Hikmah, including Shafiq Morton and Mr. Muhammad Enver Surti's titles. Some of his books are part of the Awqaf's Leaders and Legacies series. So I'm very excited to be speaking about books and speaking to Sister Tazkiyah. So let's bring her on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing today, Tazkiyah?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I'm well, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah for having me. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm very excited because we get to speak about books. So, with our topic, Eid gifting and Eid gifting ideas, so we are going to be covering the whole family, the school going child that's perhaps in grade R or starting primary school, the school going or high school going child, and perhaps the adult as well. Are we correct in saying this?
Yes, we cater for the whole family, young children from 1 year old to adults of all ages. In an age of abundance, we definitely encourage people looking for gifts to give a gift of a book or many books, because that gift lives on. And I think many times we might give a child a toy that they might get bored of a little bit after a while. But when it comes to books, the children tend to read it over and over again. Once people have read their books, they tend to pass them on to other members of the family. And of course, we want to encourage a culture of reading and learning in the community. That's why our whole bookstore started. It's to encourage reading and to make good quality Islamic books accessible. And that's certainly what we've been able to do. Baitul Hikmah was started in a time when it was very difficult to access Islamic books, and that market has now changed, and it's a lot easier to access Islamic books. And I think we can confidently say that Baitul Hikmah, along with some of our colleagues in the space, are the reason that it's so easy to access good quality Islamic literature at the moment. So, at any time of year, we encourage you to buy books, but certainly around Eid.
No, definitely. I really love that, Awqaf, we've been trying our best to instill the culture of reading and instill the culture of publishing books and to encourage authors. And Baitul Hikmah does the same in terms of getting top quality books from international authors, but also fostering some of the talent and encouraging local authors. How's that been going for you, Sister Tazkiyah? That mission, continuing that mission from your, mashallah, your late father, Mr. Muhammad Amra.
Alhamdulillah, among the two most recent products that we've actually launched, at the beginning of Ramadan, in the run up towards Ramadan, we launched two products that were Ramadan related. A Ramadan journal for adults, and this would incorporate a system to make your Ramadan spiritually productive, and would teach you a lesson every day. There would be some reflections that you would need to go through. Alhamdulillah, the response from the community was phenomenal for the Ramadan journals for me and my Ramadan. We sold out within the first few days of Ramadan, kept getting calls after that. Can we get more of this journal? And we said, unfortunately, not. It takes us too long to print more copies of the journal. So that was one for adults. And then we also had a Ramadan journal combined with a storybook for children. It was called Our Ride Through Ramadan, both with the same author, Shaista Murad from Johannesburg. We sold over 400 copies of the children's journal as well. And it's really been humbling to work on these projects and seeing the response from the community. And we want to encourage this high quality Islamic literature to be produced by South Africans. We shouldn't always have to import good quality books. We need to be able to produce it by ourselves as well, and be able to share as a community. And it's been great to see how supportive the community has been, how excited the children have been to receive these products, and how much benefit people have attained from these journals as well as the previous ones. So last year we had the Dua journal and a Quran journal as well that we released. We also released a kids book. So we want to encourage this, especially the high quality literature, and going through all of the processes that allow you to produce something of high quality. I think sometimes we want to take shortcuts and then we don't get a product that we're 100% happy with. But if we do follow all the steps in terms of good editing, good illustration, employing beta readers, then we get a great product. So for anyone that's thinking about writing, I do encourage you to start somewhere and then take the time to produce something of great quality that you can be proud of, and something that we want to share with the rest of the world. So initially you might release it in South Africa, but inshallah, if it's a great product, we want to take it to the rest of the world and share what we have, because very often South African publications tend to, well, in the Muslim community, tend to remain here. And I think that needs to change. We can produce great books, and we need to share that with the international English-speaking community as well.
I definitely like that in terms of producing something of a world-class standard in terms of the quality, in terms of the content and the production. And then this would be feasible, or you would be able to sell it anywhere around the world. Isn't that the case?
Certainly, that's what we should aim for, I think, for anyone looking into writing, or even if they're in the editing or illustration space. A standard of excellence is something that we should all aspire to, international excellence. And we have connections with international publishing houses, and if something is good, then we want to be able to offer it to them and say, this has come out of South Africa. How can we share it with the international community?
Sure. Tazkiyah, before we get into your top picks of books, do you believe that there's some sort of a renaissance happening here in South Africa with, more authors that's emerging within South Africa, and there's a little bit more support for authors? Do you find that trend emerging here locally?
Well, I would definitely say there's a renaissance in terms of people reading.
Okay.
It's wonderfully encouraging to see people come and buy books both in our physical store in Durban as well as online, and keep coming back. You would think that in the day when we have our mobile phones and we're bombarded by technology, um, and all of that comes with it, that people would read less. But that certainly isn't the case. People are definitely reading. People are seeking answers to questions they have. People are seeking solace in books, and people are encouraging each other to read. Just in the build up to Eid, we've seen so many young parents come in and buy books for their children, and likewise people buying books for their adults in their lives as their gift of choice. So it's really inspiring to see how many people want to read. In terms of authorship, I've definitely seen more and more people take an interest in writing. I think we're still getting to that point where people know what steps to follow. So I think that's also somewhere where we have a role to play as a publisher, and we assist people with both publishing and self-publishing, to guide them along that process. So it is something that we've seen, and because a few people have been doing it, I think other people are encouraged to say, if she can do it or he can do it, I think I can do it too. So it's really exciting, and I look forward to the next couple of years in terms of South African Muslim publications.
So there we go. So if you just tune into our session, this is hosted by Awqaf South Africa, and we are talking about Eid Gift Ideas. And there has been a shift, and I would really love for Tazkiyah also to give her input, that years gone by, 20, 30 years ago, your grandparents would be giving you Eid in terms of money for fasting during the month of Ramadan, and as a gift on Eid Day. And as years have progressed, recently of late, something that's become a trend is and has become a thing. And this is why we're talking about it. And this is Eid gifting, whether it's an Eid Waqf gift certificate, doing the Isali Sawab for belated parents, and buying books for your family, and perhaps other novelties that goes with it. Tazkiyah, have you been seeing the same? If you look at the past few years?
Oh, certainly. Books are definitely making a comeback, and I think people appreciate that they cannot just get Islamic books, but high quality Islamic books very easily. And I think we'll see even more and more of this in the next couple of years, where books become a gift of choice.
Okay, so there we go. So let's go through Tazkiyah from Baitul Hikmah. If you're listening to this, while you're listening to this, hop onto the website hikmah.co.za. This is the one website that you have to bookmark. This is where you get all of the good books and more on the website. So let's get going.
Okay, so I've shared some of my favorite books for different ages, books that I would recommend gifting to both yourself or your friends and family. So the first up on the list is The Simple Seerah. There's a part one and a part two of this book. It's actually initially written for teens. It's written in the format of a novel, so a narrative. I absolutely love this book. I've never read a seerah written in this way. I couldn't put it down. And if you want to fall in love with the story of the Prophet ﷺ and his family and companions, you've got to start with the simple seerah. It's a much easier read than some of the more classic seerahs that we used to, written for teenagers. So I would recommend from 11 years upwards. But many adults have read this book too. They've just released an audiobook. I'm really excited about this project, and I'd hope that more Islamic literature of this format is produced. This is produced between Sheikh Asim Khan, who's from the US, and Toyris Mia, who's in the UK. An excellent job, and I'm excited that people are going beyond the normal ways of writing, and being able to engage young people in particular in a way that works for them. So it is a narrative format, which makes it a lot easier to read. You can read this book in one night and you'll love it. You'll want to buy part 2 and part 3 as well. So if you have a teenager, a young adult, or anyone who loves the seerah in your life, I do think the simple seerah is an excellent gift. And it's
Wow.
200 Rand. If you get part 1 and part 2, you get a bit of a discount. You get it for 385 Rand for the 2 books. So good value for money as well.
I love the illustrations. It's the cover of the book. It looks beautiful, and mashallah, the forward is by Mufti Ming. Are there any pictures inside the book?
And there are illustrations inside the book as well. And not on every page, but every chapter has a beautiful illustration that you'll enjoy looking at. And there's some maps as well.
Okay, mashallah.
Okay, so the next book on my list is the Shama'il Muhammadiyah. So people will ask you, what is that one book I should really get for myself, and generally, or for someone close to me? And I ask, do you have a great translation Quran? And they might say yes, they might say no. If they don't have a great translation of the Quran, then I would suggest a translation of the Quran. And then the next thing I want people to get, and I would really hope that every home in our community will have this book, is the Shama'il Muhammadiyah. And what is the Shama'il? It is a description of the characteristics, and the habits and the outward appearance, and some of the interactions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want to fall in love with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you've got to get the Shama'il. This particular translation of the Shama'il by Sheikh Muhammad Aslam and Abdul Aziz Siraka is done so beautifully. It's a fully color, with gold edged pages, and it's done with so much ihsan, so much excellence, that not only is the translation beautiful, but the entire book is so beautiful. And I'm excited to have such a high quality book. You'll want to read it, and you'll want to study it with a teacher. And I would encourage people to pick up the Shama'il as a family, just even to read a few pages a day. This tradition of studying the Shama'il, unfortunately, has dwindled in our community in South Africa, and it's something that we want to revive. And our little part as a bookstore is to be able to provide the books to the community. So a great investment for you to learn about the Prophet ﷺ and his character. I mean, the scholars will say that if you study the Shama'il with sincerity, you will then begin to embody the mannerisms and the character of the Prophet ﷺ. So along with studying the Sirah, I think we need to study the Shama'il, and this particular copy of the Shama'il, and there are different ones. This one is compiled by Imam al-Tirmidhi, and then the commentary here is done by Sheikh Abdul Aziz Suraka and Sheikh Muhammad Aslam. It's a great copy of the Shama'il, and I really hope that at some point in the next few years, I can say almost all Muslim homes in South Africa have a copy of this Shama'il.
So would this be essentially a gift for the head of the household, perhaps for him to run through the Shama'il during the course of every day of Ramadan? How would this book be like workshop or implemented within the family unit?
So I think it's a great book for families to read together. So I mean, yeah, it's just one copy for family, reading a page or two a day, reading it with the commentary if you get an opportunity to study it with the teacher as well. It's something that we want to encourage as much as possible, and it will stand us in our stead in the next life, isn't it? The more we
Um,
know of the Prophet ﷺ, the more we will fall in love with him, and then that's what we need, right? In terms of our
okay,
relationship with Prophet ﷺ.
definitely. Next up,
Okay, so I mean, most of you will know Sheikh Umar Suleiman. His books are wonderful. These are the two most recent books. One called Judgment Day, Deeds That Light the Way. And this is, I guess, a discussion on what deeds will benefit us most in terms of, our akhirah and on the Day of Judgment. And it's a reflection of that hadith or that question that comes to the Sahaba. Um, the Sahaba asked the Prophet ﷺ, when is the Day of Judgment? And the Prophet ﷺ, said, I don't know when is the Day of Judgment, but what's important is not when it is, but what are we preparing for it? So this particular book is encouraging us to prepare the deeds that allow us to succeed on the Day of Judgment. Beautifully written, beautiful typesetting, a book that, again, can be read as a family or individually, a great gift. And the chapters are quite short, so it allows you to just read one chapter a day. And then the other one, for those left behind, also a recent book of Sheikh Umar Suleiman. It says guidance on death and grieving. Many of us have lost loved ones in the recent past, so it gives you practical advice on how to deal with, their passing, those deeds that you can do to benefit them, as well as, how to deal with it spiritually. So different topics on, death and grieving.
I think that's a very profound title. Managing grief, with we just seen the back of COVID, and we've lost lots of loved ones. So this is like a very ideal gift, in terms of someone that is dealing with, bereavement of this nature.
Definitely. And I mean, the writing style is just so accessible. And I mean, many people have said, I don't read too many books, but I've started reading Umar Suleiman's books. So, I mean, something that we're also quite pleased to hear, that this is an introduction for many people to reading Islamic books in general.
Alhamdulillah. I think we're blessed, there are certain Islamic scholars and writers that actually simplify something, a text that is quite complex, or subject matter that is quite complex, and then make it really easy. And this is actually like a gateway for people to really get hooked into reading.
100%. I mean, people have said, I haven't read a book in 2 years, but I read this. I'm like, subhanAllah, that's excellent to hear. And inevitably, once they've read one book, they'll start reading more.
Now, inshallah, I can slowly see our community moving away from just consuming tabloid newspapers with some of the sensational news, and getting into reading a short form book that's perhaps got about 50 to 70 pages.
Yep. Okay, so getting to some of the kids' books. So Planet Umar is an absolutely delightful series for children, say maybe 8 to 13 years old. Umar is a very comical character, and you go on certain adventures with him. Absolutely love the book. The children are so excited about it. There are 5 books at the moment. I hope she writes more. So you're basically in Planet Umar's day and in his head, and he's explaining certain concepts to you. He explains what's going on, written in a very quirky style with fun illustrations. The kids will love it. That's all I have to say. Planet Umar is so much fun. You don't have to get all the books at the same time. Start with the first one and build your collection. I mean, I wish we had those books when we were kids, but at least
Wow.
these days have these books.
It definitely has appeal for school going learners, and You know, if I was in school-going learner, and I had a look at one of these book covers, I would be hooked. I would want to get Planet Umar, the accidental trouble magnet. You know, I mean that's the colors are just popping over there.
Yeah, and they're beautifully written, beautifully edited. Yeah, it's done with so much excellence. It's something that the community should be proud of. And yeah, when we have these books in front of us, we don't have to be too concerned about what our children are consuming outside of, Islamic literature, because we can provide wholesome alternatives that the children will be excited about and not be, forced to read.
So if you just tuned in, we've been talking about Eid gift ideas and getting gifts that is a little bit more sustainable. These are like not just gifts in the form of chocolates that's gonna up your calorie count and so on. No, these are gifts including gifts for children, and we've been discussing Baitul Hikmah's range of books fit to give the whole family, whether it's your school-going learners, mother, father, auntie, grandmother, we've got books for all. So tell me, Tazkiyah, what's the latest developments on the Hikmah frontier? I've been visiting your website quite often. There's been new developments. It's been exciting. We're terribly excited about what's happening on the Hikmah frontier. So tell us a little bit more. Can I buy a gift voucher for my friend? And tell me about the national network um, and cities that you guys service, to get the book. So tell us more.
Okay, so obviously we're mostly an online bookstore, and so we serve the whole country, but we also do pop-ups. So we do pop-ups in Cape Town, occasionally in Johannesburg, and then most importantly, we have a brick and mortar store in Durban, which we're very excited about. We're just open for less than 2 years now. And along with our bookstore, we have a little cafe. You can get a great cup of coffee while you read your books. And we've just introduced sandwiches as well. We have a beautiful back garden. You can come and chill, relax while your kids play. You can read a book, they can play on the jungle gyms, or they can read books while you do your work on your laptop. So something we're very excited about. You would think that in the day of online shopping, there's less space for a physical store, but certainly not. People enjoy a community space, and we're trying to fill a gap as well, to be able to share a wholesome community space where people can come together to share ideas, to relax, a safe space for them to bring their children. We also host events. We have book readings, book launches. We're hoping to engage in other cultural activities like calligraphy and duff classes and nasheed classes. So we're working towards being a little bit more than a bookstore. So something that we're quite excited about. Do make dua for us that we are able to realize that vision, because I think we owe the community a little bit more. We don't want to just be a bookstore and that's that. We want to be able to do more, and we can do more. And again, the support of the community has been wonderful already. And I'm excited to see what the next year or two hold in terms of our growth as a physical store. I love meeting new people there all the time. Children finding that a bookstore can be their happy place. Yeah, something that I think our community needed. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I'm excited we finally took the step of opening up a store with all of those challenges and opportunities.
I'm very excited. I was quite encouraged. I attended a fee in Maynardville in Cape Town, and I was surprised to get in contact with your representative that oversees the Cape Town chapter, and the range of books and the quality of books. The Ihsan is definitely there within the Baitul Hikmah brand, and inshallah, I hope maybe that make to other to have a chapter in Johannesburg. Have you done the Halal Goods Market in Johannesburg?
We've done the Eid festival this year.
Okay.
Yes, Inshallah soon. You'll see us in Johannesburg more often at the pop-up. So currently we only have a brick and mortar store in Durban, pop-ups in Cape Town, and then the occasional pop-up in Johannesburg as well. And then for everyone else, we have the online store, very efficient. You get your books in within the week. Yeah, so that's that. If you still haven't decided on a book or you're not sure what your friends and family would like, we obviously have gift vouchers, so you let them make the choice. So we're giving you the options.
Okay, so there we go. And let us know your physical address of your bricks and mortar presence in KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay, so we're at the Mariam B. Sultan Community Center. It's on 222 Kenilworth Road in Sydenham. People from Durban will recognize the name Mariam B. Sultan, and they'll know where we are. The whole center's been renovated recently, and so we're one of the new tenants in the 2.0 of the center. It's obviously an old community center that's now been revamped and has changed course in a really positive way.
Okay, so there we go. Tazkiyah Amra. Head on over to hikmah.co.za and get some good quality books. Jazakallah, Sister Tazkiyah, for your time. And inshallah, we hope to do a little bit more of this in future. And may your business and some of your projects grow from strength to strength. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, jazakallah khair. Remember us in your du'as.
So there we go. That was Sister Tazkiyah from Baitul Hikmah. And for more information, you can log on to our website, awqafsa.org.za. Alternatively, you can log on to hikmah.co.za's website. Let's get creative. Next up, we have Sister Zunaida Musa Wadiwala and her daughter Tahia, and they are going to be sharing some creative e-decor ideas in terms of ideas around e-table design and calligraphy and the sort. Zunaida is a lawyer by day, and as part of her pastime, she is involved in calligraphy. Her daughter Tahia is studying, involved in media studies at WITS, and let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our e-table. I'm Tahia and this is Zunaida. Thank you to Awqaf and to you, Hasanain, for giving us the opportunity to bring in a creative element to your program. For today, we'll be showcasing our breakfast table. There are 3 essential points that we're talking about. The first is the emphasis on having completed and successfully completed, may Allah accept from us all, the beautiful month of Ramadan. So it is with a bit of sad moment, sadness that the month of Ramadan is leaving us, a month in which we exerted ourselves in terms of worship, our ibadah, sacrificing and trying our best to become the best versions of ourselves. And the moment of Eid is upon us. And we know from the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that the moment of joy for a fasting person, or rather 2 moments of joy for a fasting person when he breaks his fast is that moment, breaking your fast, and the moment of meeting Allah Azza wa Jal. And the culmination of that and that mindset that we went into the month of Ramadan is the day of Eid, which is the most auspicious day in the calendar of a Muslim. And with that in mind and with that within that framework, we would like to talk about celebrating Eid. So traditionally, Eid is the day of the most joyous day where we would dress in our best and spend hours preparing for the Eid feast. Not just breakfast, lunch, supper, but everything in between, the baking, the dessert, up to it, basically. All of that. And so, we're focusing or separating then the breakfast meal. So, with extended families, people normally would have breakfast with one side of the family, lunch with another, supper with another, that type of thing. And our focus for today, Tahia was saying, let's focus, instead of doing different ideas, let's focus on one meal. So we selected the breakfast table, focused on our breakfast table, a little bit of an intimate breakfast table, an intimate family setting. So, Tahia, why don't you take us through the decoration? And then
So first up, let's just start off with the menu. So we've got this stand over here, which looks nice to display a menu over. Coffee toast. Okay, and then when we were discussing the menu, my mom still said dessert. I was like, yeah, it's Eid. Dessert is the one. Eid is the one day that you can have dessert.
So she wanted dessert for breakfast, dessert for lunch, dessert for supper.
And on this table, we've got an assortment of mitai or sweetmeats, which is your normal burfi, magaj, etc. Some biscuits and truffles, as well as a mint ganache. So to take you in, to our table setting itself, but we've got a collection of dips and starters, as well as some breadsticks and just a regular hummus and labna and baba ganoush, etc. Then we also have kahwa and dates and zamzam, which is the most important in our household, especially. Some would say that we run on kahwa in this household. And then walking you through this way, we've got an intimate setting where we've basically had your placemat, name tags, as well as So bringing in the element of calligraphy, we've personalized each name tag and added that to the table setting, which just makes it somewhat more unique and more individualized, if I may say.
I think the emphasis is a lot. People have changed their focus, whereas we spend hours in the kitchen preparing the meal. The emphasis now is also on presenting the meal, and hence table setting and tablescaping is an art in itself. But the idea is not to exert yourself or to spend a lot in that way. So we basically used what we have in the house. Tahia got one or two pieces from Marble Manor, and we just sort of added that as a highlight. And we do.
A simple bunch of flowers just adds so much to your table and doesn't break bank, if I may add. And then candles are a different way of adding different elements to it. It just brings in a more softer mood, a more relaxed mood to the table. And pros, if you do end up getting scented candles, it just takes it up a notch.
Or you could have, which we do have, is the bakhud in the background. We always, a lot of emphasis on that in our home. That and the coffee, I think, makes up our home.
We run a coffee and wood.
Okay, so a little bit about the calligraphy that we chose for today. As you can see, the menu and the name settings are the same font. This is brush calligraphy, sort of modern. It's called modern calligraphy, fitting in with the design that Tahia had in mind. She chose the colors and the design, and I just actually supplemented with the calligraphy. And then I made these, which is a wax seal in Arabic calligraphy in the Thuluth script, Eid Mubarak on there, and I used gold wax beads to fit in with Tahia's theme. We emphasize on beauty and being the best we can do. Everything that we do in Islam teaches us we do it with ihsan, being the best version of ourselves. And definitely. Also, the hadith says, Inna Allaha jamilun wa yuhibbul jamal. Indeed, Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. And I think that is something that I've personalized in my life. So whatever I do, it's with that mindset of, I'm doing this, so let me do it to the best of my ability, and let me do it in a way in which Allah Azza wa Jal is going to be pleased with and is going to love. And so that I think, innamal a'malu binniyat, everything starts with our intention. And even if it is something you're doing in your home, for your family, your intention that this is my act of ibadah as well. I'm contributing my time, my effort to this. May Allah accept also in our scale of good deeds. And so with that in mind, I think it just,
that counts it up.
Frames it up. One thing I'd like to show you, I'm just so thrilled. These were gifted to you, right?
Yeah.
These are...
Arabic.
They have Arabic calligraphy on the teacups. So, Tahia was gifted with this, and we'd absolutely forgotten about it. And Tahia remembered it at the 11th hour, and she says, I have these cups. And so it was just such a perfect and such a special piece with the Arabic calligraphy on there. It brings us to the end of our creative input. I hope we've added that special touch an inspiration for you to give your Eid table that special touch from your heart. Make it personalized to what is suited to you and to your family. And above all, may Allah accept, and may it be a day of joyfulness and barakah and happiness. And
from our home to yours, تقبل الله منا ومنكم.
And this has been a live on Eid Gift Certificates or Eid Gift Ideas 1444. So thank you for tuning in, and inshallah, we hope to see you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.